The year is 1449. The Ming dynasty stands as a beacon of power, wealth, and sophistication. However, beneath this surface of grandeur, challenges brew on the horizon. In the heart of the imperial court, a young emperor, Zhu Qijun, known to history as Emperor Zhengtong, rules with the guidance of his trusted eunuch advisor, Wang Zhen. Together, they are about to make a decision that will lead to one of the most shocking defeats in Chinese history, the Battle of Tumu Fortress. The Ming dynasty had once defeated the Mongol-led Yuan dynasty, reclaiming China, but the Mongols, scattered across the steppes, remained a fierce and restless force. Led by Asen Taishi, a formidable Mongol warlord, the Oirat Mongols threatened the Ming borders, demanding recognition and tribute. Wang Zhen, the emperor's powerful advisor, saw this as an affront to the Ming's authority. Against the advice of seasoned generals, he persuaded the young Emperor Zhengtong to lead a campaign to crush Asen Taishi and cement his legacy as a powerful ruler. And so, in the heat of summer, Emperor Zhengtong, barely 21 years old, set out at the head of a vast army of over 500,000 men, though some historians believe it an inflated figure. But they were not prepared for the grueling march across the Mongol steppes. Supplies were scarce, the terrain was harsh, and the army began to falter. Seasoned generals warned Wang Zhen and the emperor that the troops were exhausted and vulnerable, but Wang Zhen pressed on, driven by ambition and hubris. Asen Taishi, meanwhile, was no ordinary warlord. He was a strategist who knew the terrain and the weaknesses of his opponent. Instead of meeting the Ming head-on, he employed psychological tactics, harassing the Ming troops with smaller attacks, drawing them further from safety. As the days passed, the Ming forces grew weary and anxious, and their supplies dwindled. Asen's patience was paying off. The Ming soldiers, caught off guard, fought bravely, but they were no match for the swift and deadly Mongol cavalry. Waves of Mongol archers fired upon the confused and cornered Ming troops. The chaos was indescribable. As the battle raged and the extent of the disaster became clear, blame fell squarely on Wang Zhen. His reckless leadership and insistence on a hasty, disorganized retreat had led the army into this trap. Furious Ming officers, seeing no escape and enraged by the senseless loss of life, turned their anger on Wang Zhen. In a moment of heated vengeance, one officer killed him on the spot, ending the influence of the man who had led them to ruin. In the end, Emperor Zhengtong himself was captured by Asen Taishi, marking one of the rare times in Chinese history when a ruling emperor was taken captive by a foreign power. For Asen, this was a victory beyond his wildest ambitions. The capture of the emperor sent shockwaves through the Ming court and all of China. The young emperor, who had set out to conquer, was now a hostage in the Mongol camp. News of the disastrous defeat and the emperor's capture reached Beijing, throwing the Ming court into chaos. With the emperor in Mongol hands, officials debated whether to negotiate or prepare for further attacks. In a surprising turn of events, the Ming court decided to install Emperor Zhengtong's younger brother as the new emperor, putting the captured ruler's status in limbo. The leadership in Beijing was now determined to preserve stability over ransom negotiations. Asen Taishi, anticipating a hefty ransom, soon found his plans foiled. The Ming court refused to pay a large ransom, effectively diminishing his leverage. This rejection infuriated Asen and left him in a delicate position. He had gained fame, but failed to turn it into a lasting victory. In a twist of irony, Asen was forced to release Emperor Zhengtong without achieving his financial or political goals. When Emperor Zhengtong finally returned to the Ming court, his status was reduced and his authority diminished. The Ming dynasty had endured one of its greatest embarrassments, and the battle left a deep scar on the empire's psyche. Tumu Fortress became a symbol of hubris, flawed leadership, and the costs of underestimating one's enemy. Lessons from this catastrophic defeat reshaped Ming military policy, prioritizing caution and border security over ambition. The Battle of Tumu Fortress stands as a stark reminder of how pride and poor judgment can bring even the most powerful empires to their knees. Emperor Zhengtong's misadventure against the Mongols forever changed the course of the Ming dynasty, reinforcing the importance of wise counsel, strategic planning, and humility. Today, this battle is studied as one of the most stunning examples of how underestimating one's foe can have disastrous consequences. The legacy of Tumu Fortress lives on as a testament to the costs of overreaching ambition. Enjoyed this video? Subscribe for more content on the Mongols.